Hi everybody, welcome back to Let's Build The Sims 4. So yesterday I built this house. It's on the Rindle Rose lot and it's in Willow Creek. I built this house yesterday with base game objects only, and I also built it on a starter budget for a single sim. But today I decided that since I'd probably like to use this lot in my own game, I wanted to make it the way that I would want my Sims to live in it. So I've deleted all of the items in the house and I'm going to refurnish it for my specifications. So it's going to be a one-bedroom lot, and I've changed the other bedroom into a sort of lounge or living room, den, whatever you'd like to call it. Because that's normally the way I would play. This house is really too small to have a family in, so I decided to make it for a single sim or a couple. I also put a laundry room in because I like to make my Sims have to do the normal, ordinary things that I would have to do. So almost all of my builds you'll see will have a laundry room in them if they're residential apartments or whatever. So the laundry room is in, and I'm building the kitchen. I really like these counters from Parenthood, I think. They seem kind of country style and homey, and I really enjoy them. I especially like them in this blue swatch. So you'll probably see me use these a lot. They're some of my favorites. I wanted to, I guess, talk a little bit about some other things that I enjoy and don't enjoy about The Sims. Today, focusing specifically on The Sims 4, I I know we talked yesterday about my unpopular opinions regarding cars and babies and seasons. Some other things I don't really like, but that are not necessarily unpopular opinions. I don't care much for vampires, really. I do keep the pack in my game, but I tend to delete Vlad because he's terrible, and he's always knocking on the door if I leave him in, and sometimes, of course, he breaks in and does bad things, and it tends to ruin my life a little bit, so I don't like Vlad. I had one time a really, really difficult situation with Vlad that drove me completely crazy. I was playing a 100 baby challenge I had just started, and my sim already had a set of twins, and she was pregnant, and Vlad came to the door. And Vlad sapped her energy, and then her babies got taken away because she couldn't get off the floor and take care of her babies. And after that, I looked up how to get rid of Vlad, and surprisingly, it's as simple as just deleting him out of your game. And so that's what I did, and that's what I always do. I cannot stand that vampire man. He's crazy, and all he wants to do is ruin everyone's life. So Vlad can go. I don't really care about Vlad. I also, something else I don't really like about this game is some of the packs are a little bare to me, especially like the stuff packs. I know they're not really intended to give you a lot of additional things or gameplay or whatever, but one of my favorite ones is still really disappointing. Like, I really, really enjoy, I believe it's the Vintage Glamour pack, but I don't understand why there's so little actual stuff in it. The Create a Sim items in it I really don't enjoy at all, but some of the furniture is really beautiful. I like the bedroom set that comes with it. I think it's really, really pretty, and I use it pretty often, especially when I'm building in apartments. But it makes me kind of upset that I spent $10 on a stuff pack that has so little actual stuff in it. And then other stuff packs like the Tiny Living, it was so full of things, and I feel like if they had just pushed it a little further, they could have made a game pack out of that. I would happily have spent $20 for a game pack that focused a little bit more on Tiny Living. But otherwise, it's probably my favorite of the stuff packs. I like Nifty Knitting, too. A lot of people are probably not on board with that opinion of mine, but I don't really care. But I do like nifty knitting because I've always enjoyed crafting myself. I like to crochet. I like to knit, but I'm not very good at it, and I really enjoy doing needlepoint, like embroidery and cross stitch and that kind of thing. Although over the last couple of years, I've noticed that my hands don't really like to do those activities so much anymore. My joints hurt a lot. I don't know if there's anything wrong with me or if it's just that I'm getting older and I'm not used to that, I guess. But it's hard for me to be creative if the things that I've always done in terms of my creativity are things I can no longer do. So instead, I'm focusing my creativity on doing things in The Sims. I like to build. I've been learning some different techniques to do recolors of objects and clothing actually that are already found in the game. And I may do some kind of tutorial on the way I do those at some point. I may also be willing to share some of those items when I make them. I cannot do any kind of meshes though. For some reason, I have a mental block against being able to do that. I've tried and tried. I can't do it. So if somebody maybe wanted to teach me how to use Blender and to make those things, I'd be happy to try to learn again, but I certainly haven't been able to teach myself to do it. Something goes completely wrong and I don't know what I'm doing, but it's not working. So that's some of the creativity that I try to get going when I'm playing Sims. I like to come up with new scenarios to play. I like to build new things. One thing that I do want to mention as far as the house builds that I do, most of these are at least inspired by real life houses. So if they don't look like some of the other builds that you find in the gallery, it's because I'm using things that real people have designed and built architecturally in the real world. So sometimes the roofs look a little bland or boring or whatever, and I know a lot of simmers try to make their roof lines look as interesting as possible. I'm not really about that. I just want my houses to look like they belong in an actual place where I've been or things that I've seen. And so I do look up a lot of house plans on floorplans.com, I think is where I usually get them. And I try to, as close as I can, base my builds on those floor plans. Now, sometimes things don't really work out because, of course, the measurements of things don't match up in any possible way. But based on the size of certain furniture items and stuff like that, I try to get as near to it as I possibly can. And I find that the builds, when I do that, have a better sense of reality to me. And so I enjoy doing it that way. I'm sure a lot of other people do too. But if you wonder sometimes, why did I put that there? Or why does this house look so weird from the front? It doesn't look like houses that so and so built or whatever. It's just because I'm using a real floor plan as my inspiration. Also, I think you'll find it interesting that when I build a lot, I sort of start from a weird place sometimes. I know some people will just build one big structure and then go in and place their rooms and whatever, but I kind of like to start from a position of where would I put the furniture in this room, and then I think about it from that perspective and I build around where I want the furniture to go. So I don't really enjoy doing things like what I'm doing right now, where I have an existing structure and I have to basically take it apart and put it back together because I feel limited by what the structure of the house looks like. I struggle a lot with that and with apartments in this game because you can't change them very much. I mean, I can change the shape of the room that I'm working in, but I can't expand the walls into a different shape. If they're built in a weird diagonal that I'm not comfortable with, I can't change that. and I can't change where the windows are placed in apartments, and that makes me crazy. I hate that, and I hate the style of the windows sometimes. I know it makes it look more realistic for the outside of the building, but I really, really just wish that the Sims team had made it more possible to personalize or really just design apartments ourselves. Like, I'd like to be able to place an empty lot and build an apartment building on it the way I want it to look, the way you could in The Sims 2. That was nice. That was really nice. The Sims 2 apartment system and their like sim run business stuff was so much better than it is in this game and in the way it was done in The Sims 3 also. So that's something that I wish that we could do this way. I like building, and not being able to fully customize an apartment is something that I have a hard time with. I don't like my Sims to live in apartments very much because of that, and because I'm not able to fully customize them. But I will absolutely be working on apartments in this game at some point in the future. So basically, this week I've been focusing on Willow Creek. I'm probably not going to release any more videos until Monday. I'm going to try to take weekends off to just enjoy my game and play, and maybe even get some builds recorded, even if I'm not ready to do the voiceover and get them set up to release. So there probably won't be another video up until Monday, but on Monday I'm going to start focusing on, I think, probably Oasis Springs, and so that's what next week will be, and then we'll go from there and see which other neighborhoods we'd like to build in. So I don't build a lot in other neighborhoods other than Willow Creek, so I'm trying to kind of challenge myself to do some different things. Willow Creek seems comfortable to me, I think, because it reminds me of places where I've lived myself, where I grew up. I obviously grew up in the South, if you can't tell from my voice. So these houses, some of them look a little bit historic. They just look like a standard, regular old American house. And that's what I'm used to seeing. So I'm much more comfortable building in that kind of style. So Oasis Springs will be kind of challenging for me. To do things in sort of a Southwest or Mediterranean style is going to be a little bit harder because I'm not used to that. So those videos may be more interesting, where you can see me struggle a little bit more to get things done. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Also, I will have a really, really difficult time with Windenburg, because the historic looking buildings with the European style of architecture, I don't understand it. So I don't know how those are going to go, but once we get there, I guess we'll find out how well I can do that. So I'm not looking forward to them. I almost never build in Windenburg, especially in the historic areas of Windenburg. I really have a hard time with those, but I will do them, and hopefully you guys will like them. So anyway, this has been an interesting build for me to be able to do it twice. I like the way everything came together. It seems like a comfortable place to live. I would like to live here. It looks like something I would enjoy. Sorry about that noise. That was my phone ringing. But anyway, it looks like we're getting down to the very end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I hope that you'll continue to watch my videos. So thanks again for coming, and please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.